into orbit.
Welcome back to U.S. Cricket Now. It's been a while, but we're ready to rock and roll again. I'm Peter Della Penna.
And I'm Aaman Patel. Peter, it's so great to be back with you. So great to have Major League Cricket back. And it's really a whole month earlier than last time. We couldn't get enough of it, could we?
No, we couldn't. Did you miss me, Aaman? Did you think the audience missed us?
Peter, we all miss you. We always miss you. We always miss the PDB swag and flair.
It's been almost 12 months since the end of MLC 2024, and we've got another great season lined up. And one of the things that's going to make this season bigger and better, literally, the stadium, Oakland Coliseum, a 50,000 seat venue. They're not going to open up all the seats for MLC, but the fact that this venue, which has been vacated by the Oakland Athletics and technically speaking the Oakland Raiders, who have gone for the slot machines of Las Vegas, it means that cricket fans get to pull the lever and see what's in store at a venue that's going to be reconfigured in a similar way to what we've seen at Grand Prairie Stadium, just on a much bigger scale in California.
It's super exciting. I mean, this is the home of the imaginations of so many American sports fans, isn't it? You talk about Moneyball and just the kind of cult following that has. And then also, I think about the old Oakland Raiders games, and I think about the Bad Boys having played there. I think about I remember watching Michael Crabtree catching 3 fade passes in a row to win a game on Sunday Night Football after the flags were getting thrown left and right. So there's so much historic stuff happening at that venue. To get the next chapter of American cricket to open there is super exciting. And Peter, me and you, we're going to be down there to see it all firsthand and in person, and that excites me maybe more than anything.
I can't wait to be there. And what's going through my mind, Aaman, is the NFL films, slow motion reels, and the dun 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 dun. The autumn wind is a pirate blustering in from sea. And now America's cricketers and the world's cricketers are going to get to take part in such an iconic venue, whether it was for the NFL or for baseball. I got to go see a game there with our good friend Nate Hayes a couple summers ago when things opened up after COVID. And just to see Rickey Henderson Field splashed across the top of the stadium when you enter the Oakland Coliseum. Again, this is a place where an all-time great, a legend, Rickey Henderson, has the field named after him. And all the Marcus Allen, Tim Brown, and do we want to throw in Rich Gannon? Is he good enough to be a legend? I don't know. Or Derek Carr, is that pushing it a little bit?
He did win an MVP, didn't we? I think he did win an MVP. He might have to be in the conversation.
He took him to a Super Bowl. He didn't win it, but the fact that now cricketers are going to get to add their names to the history of, again, the Bash brothers and World Series winning teams from the Athletics and World Championship NFL Super Bowl winning teams from the Raiders who took the field at that venue. And now you're going to get world champion cricketers who are going to be taking part in MLC 2025. And it's a special place to play cricket. And that's why it's going to be a special place to launch this 2025 season. What's the thing you're most looking forward to, Aaman, when we get out there next week?
Oh, I'm just excited to see what it looks like. I remember the first time stepping foot in Grand Prairie in 2023 and just shocked at the way the entire stadium was transformed and had basically embraced the cricket culture. And so I'm excited to see how the Oakland Coliseum gets turned into this kind of cricketing venue, and to see that firsthand and in person for that first opening game against what was our final matchup of last year with the San Francisco Unicorns taking on the Freedom. I think that'll be really exciting just to see how that venue gets shaped in the cricketing world.
And one of the other things that you touched on leading into this is the fact that where it is geographically is very significant, not just in the broad sense of you've got so many cricket fans who come from the San Francisco Bay Area, but even just within the Bay itself. It's in the East Bay. For people who are not familiar on their California geography or their San Francisco Bay Area geography, you might just say San Francisco and it kind of connotates just a big lump of a geographic zone. But there's some nuances, some very specific rivalries within the Bay. And the fact that this is technically in Oakland in the East Bay, that is where the bulk of the cricket community exists. If you go and you meet with cricketers who are playing in the U.S. domestic scene, club cricketers or people who are part of the grassroots fabric of that Bay Area community, you get a lot of people in Fremont and in Dublin and Pleasanton and San Jose and Santa Clara, this is actually a very convenient venue for them. Typically, when they go to World Cup matches like they did last year, or they go to MLC games, you get so many fans who travel from the Bay Area, who have to go to New York, who have to go to Texas, who have to go to Florida, or have to go overseas to see high-quality cricket, and now it's being brought right to their front door.
I remember getting a couple messages from folks who live out in California saying, yeah, we're going to be there. There's no doubt about it. We'll be there all throughout the 10 days that the league is in Oakland. And I think that's super exciting. And I think the matchups are incredibly exciting as well. They're kicking it off with what was that final, right? And it's a Washington Freedom team that'll look very different against a Unicorns team that maybe loses its biggest star in Pat Cummins, but feels like hasn't lost a lot of the bite that got them to the final last season. You're still looking at a top three that'll feature McGurk, Allen, and Matt Short, and then Sanjay Krishnamurti at 4 versus the Washington Freedom. What do they look like without Steve Smith and Travis Head up top the order? How do they look now that Mitch Owen has been called up for the West Indies series? There's a lot of questions there. So a very intriguing way to start at a new venue, at a new ground, at a new season.
And from a local standpoint, I'm really excited, and I know you are too, to see the next phase in Sanjay Krishnamurti's career. You were part of the broadcast crew in Florida where he had some phenomenal finishes. I thought he was an unsung hero for USA in some of those matches, especially the last match where Harmeet Singh, who is another superstar in Major League Cricket in the Seattle Workers squad as a left-arm spinner, he was given the Player of the Match award for that final win that USA had. Arguably, he stole it from Sanjay Krishnamurti, who had a sensational run of performances to the end of the series, including that last innings where I believe he had 40 not out off 32 deliveries. And the way that he performs at the death under pressure, his 6 hitting power, he's a wiry guy, doesn't look like one of his teammates, his captain, Corey Anderson, who looks maybe more like the Incredible Hulk. Sanjay is a very, very wiry guy, but he packs a big punch, and he was one of the leading scorers for the Unicorns last year, had such an impressive campaign after riding the bench in season 1 of MLC, and now that he's got a home venue, the Unicorns have integrated him in a lot of their promotional and their marketing campaigns locally, getting him to come out to events. He's in demand as a selfie target and an autograph target, and the fact that now he has a place in his hometown. He's a Bay Area guy. He's a student at San Jose State University, balancing that with his cricket. He's got so many things to like about him that connect him to the local community, and to see him perform under the lights at Oakland Coliseum, I think is going to be sensational for that whole Bay Area community to have somebody local, born and bred from the soil, a son of the soil, to rally around and get behind in 2025.
And maybe their adoptive son in Saurabh Netravalkar too. He's out there on the West Coast, minor league cricket in Silicon Valley Strikers. And I mean, he's just coming off. Oh yeah, he's just picked up his 100th official ODI wicket. So that's only wicket since 2019. That's how good he's been over the last couple of years. And he did it in the same time frame, same number of innings as guys like Stuart Broad and Pat Cummins. That's ridiculous. And so the Washington Freedom, whilst their batting might have a new look, their bowling will be spearheaded from the same left-handed side of Netravalkar. And I'll be excited to see him in those conditions. It's the same wickets that were in New York. For those who don't know, those wickets have been transferred over from the World Cup venue in New York last year. They are brought in, and they'll be using those surfaces to conduct cricket in the Oakland Coliseum. So Netravalkar, what did he do last time he was on those New York strips? Oh, he only took Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma. So you never know what that auspicious pitch could do for him down in Oakland.
Some other new faces that are going to be coming up this year in MLC. You said, how are Washington Freedom going to fare without Steve Smith and Travis Head? Some of the guys, not just in Washington Freedom, but over the course of the rest of the league. David Warner coming into MLC 2025 is an exciting face, and he's being given the captaincy immediately for Seattle Orcas. Alex Hales, the former England champion with LA Knight Riders. Is there anybody else that piques your interest, Aaman, and is going to pique the interest of some of the fans who are watching from around the world?
I'm excited to see Rothman Powell, and that might just be for like a selfish reason. Me and you were both there that first year of minor league cricket at Church Street Park in that finals weekend. where he was phenomenal for the New Jersey Stallions, won a bunch of games for them, and then from that point went on to captain the West Indies, and now he's back home. It feels like his second home is here, where he launched himself into that international scene, and he's part of that LA Knight Riders squad, and I'd be super excited to see him play and kind of that whole story around, and maybe maybe pokes Hakeem Cornwall to say, yeah, I was in minor league. Let me come to major league too. So I'm excited maybe from that personal standpoint to see Ralph and Powell have both sides of that coin, the minor league side and finally the major league side.
And then in terms of the domestic players from the U.S., who are some new faces as well, a couple guys who have been in the USA setup haven't necessarily gotten opportunities in MLC. Texas Super Kings, we haven't mentioned them yet, but they've got a couple guys. Smith Patel and Stephen Wigg have been added to the squad. They have been part of the USA squad. Stephen Wigg made his debut this year. Smith Patel has been around for a while. But another guy who hasn't taken the field yet for Texas Super Kings, and I know you're shaking your head already, Aaman. You know where I'm going with this. But almost in a similar career arc to Sanjay Krishnamurti, who rode the bench for Unicorns in season 1, didn't get to play, and then last year exploded onto the scene for the Unicorns and has exploded for USA. Sai Mukamala's progression from not being in the squad for USA at the 2024 T20 World Cup, he had been in the ODI squad, and it was a solid performer in 50 over cricket for USA, but after a squad reformation, if you will, post T20 World Cup, Sai Mukamala comes on, and he's been arguably USA's most consistent and their standout batter. And I would be shocked if he doesn't get a regular run in the Texas Super Kings lineup this season.
Well, he's going to be having to compete with Milind Kumar and Josh Trump, both of whom were spectacular for the Texas Super Kings. Obviously, Josh Trump had that 50 in that eliminator, and Milind Kumar is just coming off some unbelievable ODI form. But Mukamala's international numbers, for those of you who aren't aware, he's only 21 years old, mind you. He's just made his T20I debut last year in 2024. And now he has a strike rate of 152 at an average of 42. It's ridiculous what he's doing, and he's been pegged as an ODI cricketer in some people's minds. So he's someone that, if he gets in the game, it'd be hard to take him out of the 11. I'm excited for MI New York, however, and just the way they revamped their entire 11. Really, they were really heavy on some of the USA top order guys, and they kind of shifted around, and they brought in someone, Agni Chopra, born in Detroit. He's played a lot of cricket in India, and his first class average is quite ridiculous. It's in the 90s, and that's not something you see. And he bats from the left as well. So you just feel with QDK in there, you're going to have Moning Patel around. Nicholas Puran going to fill in that top 3. Could Agni Chopra slide into 4, give him another left-hander, and can he bring that first-class average? He's someone who a lot of the American cricket fans haven't seen, but my goodness, could he be a real threat?
And he essentially takes the spot of Stephen Taylor, who is shifted over to Seattle Orcas. Stephen Taylor, former first-round draft pick for MI New York, didn't really pan out, and his USA career has, in some ways, flamed out. He was a mainstay in the USA squad for a decade, and now he's completely off the radar. He's been left out of the squad. He is trying to fight his way back in, and for somebody who was the backbone or the most recognizable name in USA lineups over the course of the 2010s, the fact that he's now trying to forge his own comeback story is going to be something to keep an eye on, I think, this year as he joins the Orcas squad along with Aaron Jones. And just to highlight how remarkable Sai Mukamala and that stat you read, 152 strike rate. Stephen Taylor, who is known for 10 years plus as one of the biggest 6 hitters in all of associate cricket, not just American cricket, Stephen Taylor's career strike rate is 133. So Sai Mukamala, skin and bones, 21 years old, needs to have some spinach, it looks like, at breakfast to add a little bit of muscle. He's belting the ball all over the place. So it just shows the growing depth that's emerging in American cricket.
And you mentioned Stephen Taylor, and his comeback story started because of the injury. That was initially why he missed out. He came back to minor league cricket, and in one weekend scored 200s on tough Atlanta wickets. So I'm excited to see what kind of Stephen Taylor we get. Is it that same one that we saw come back to minor league and find that same level of success? I think there's so many great stories to have. Like, we haven't talked about someone like a Nash Kinjige or even a Tajinder Singh, who's made the move over to MI New York as well. So there's so many great names. And don't forget about the Bart King Award winner from last year. Hassan Khan is going to feature in that San Francisco's unicorn lineup. He was phenomenal in his first year in Major League, and you don't expect him to really miss by much in year two.
Well, there's a lot of things that we're looking forward to in great anticipation for the 2025 season, and we hope you'll stay with us and join us throughout the 2025 MLC campaign on U.S. Cricket Now. We've got so many things we're excited to bring you over the course of the season, beginning at Oakland Coliseum for the tournament opener. As Aaman said, the rematch of the tournament final between the San Francisco Unicorns and Washington Freedom under the lights at Oakland Coliseum. And that's another thing, just to finish up on this point, Aaman. Night cricket, it's something that outside of Grand Prairie, we haven't really had too many opportunities to see anywhere in American cricket. We're going to get night cricket at the Oakland Coliseum. We're going to get night cricket, of course, again at Grand Prairie Stadium in Texas. And hopefully we're going to get some night cricket at Broward County Stadium in Lauderhill, because during the World Cup, we struggled for any cricket on. There was an awful lot of rain, not much cricket being played. So fingers crossed, we'll get some night cricket or any cricket. The fact that these games are played under lights, I think, is another thing that is going to bring out fans and encourage people to get tickets who don't already have them.
Yeah, it's gonna be bigger and better than ever. 3 venues, not something we've seen in Major League, like you said, all supposed to be night cricket. And there's just another element when it's under lights in the dark, and everybody just feels like they shine a little bit brighter when the sun goes down. So super excited.
Was that a Kenny Chesney line you just slipped in there, Aaman?
Could have been. Maybe that's where it was ringing in my head, and I was wondering where it came from. It very well could have been that man, Kenny Chesney.
Maybe we'll see Kenny. Maybe we'll have a Chris Stapleton appearance. Who knows who might turn out for the cricket this season. But we're looking forward to a whole lot of things, and some fantastic cricket is the least of it over the course of this MLC 2025. And we hope to bring you all that and more in this summer's season of podcasts on U.S. Cricket Now.